Great passing zone right there into turn 12. That's where he lost the lead to Rinus VK last year. But a couple good passing opportunities here.
Look at how different the racetrack is, Diff, on the other side of the track as they come to the front.
Dry here, wet on the other.
Remember, the track temp is 87 degrees, so a bit of a heating blanket there, which will also really speed up the track drying process. And you can see all these drivers trying the wide line, rim shotting the corner, trying to figure out where the grip is or where the chocolate isn't on the granola bar, if you watched that a few minutes ago.
All right, let's check in with the guys one more time before we go racing. Marty Snyder, what you got?
The Auto Nation on board will bring us views from Romain Grosjean today, one of the most experienced in the race. When you talk about that, Romain's been looking forward to this, no doubt about it. But he doesn't know this tire. That's the one thing he commented on. He also said turn 7, where you guys were talking about in the backstretch, maybe the most wet part of the racetrack. They would like to make it, Kevin, to lap 9 before they get on the slicks at the end.
And Simon Pagenaud also has an Auto Nation on board. Remember that wet race here in 20? After a slight weather delay, things are looking good for a start now to get this month of May officially going with this GMR Grand Prix of Indianapolis, and expect some wild things on the opening lap. It's Will Power who leads them to green in his Verizon 5G Chevy, right alongside the defending series champion. A really strong pack up here. Everybody's playing well. Race control's going to like that. Let's get things going here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway 2022. Here we go. Power's got that inside line where it's a little wetter. Palou is on the outside where it seems somewhat drier. Callum Isla in that red, and rather that green, white and black car. 3-4 back on the inside.
And Scott Dixon up the inside, 4 wide there.
Ooh, one off the grass, one off the track.
The red white car off in the grass.
They done a great job. That was a great start.
Alexander Rossi, 3 wide with Colton Herta.
So I'm kind of messing up for the back.
Clear. Hello, ahead of Joseph Newgarden, tucks into second. Then we pick up Aaron McLaren, ESP driver. Dixon shortcuts there, couldn't quite make it around. And look at this, side by side, wheel to wheel. Hello, the jack up the inside is Newgarden on his teammate. Makes that work. Power's gone from first to fourth in one corner.
How about Alex Palou on the outside with 2 cars to the inside, keeping it clean. Power's coming back on his teammate.
As contacts Joseph Newgarden off in the grass. Potter Awards now got a run on Alex Palou heading down into turn 12. He benefited from that move. The 2 Penske's got wide. He got into second place, and now he's looking for the lead guy.
The winner from Barber Motorsports Park 2 weeks ago has a real head of steam at the moment. Qualified well, coming off that victory. Head is clear from the early season disturbances, and he is on a mission. Harvey's making moves here. He's running alongside Romain Grosjean in that black and red high-lead Honda.
You got to remember, up to this point, every single corner they've gone through, they're doing for the first time in the wet. So you are learning as you are racing. It's such a difficult situation for a driver right now. Every brake zone.
But you can see side-to-side contact on the sidewall of Graham's left rear tire. All kinds of chaos.
Devin DiFrancesco side by side with 6-time champion Scott Dixon. Christian Woodgard may be back there as well.
By the way, no further action from race control for that quick shortcut on the opening lap by Dixon. I think race control saw that he had nowhere to go in the PNC Bank Honda, so no problem there. Pato O'Ward has over 1 second lead over Felix Rosenquist and the twitch. This is shades of Marco Andretti in Detroit several years ago.
Fighting to get temperature, anything to get heat in the tires. If he can get heat, this will work out, but he cannot throw it away, Dylan.
Will Power is in as well. They're going to the scuff racks for Power, Marty.
These leaders up front hitting. Here's the problem, though. You can come out and put these slick tires, but it does not put you in the proper fuel window to make it in 2 more stops. They wanted to go a little bit further if they could, but it's giving up too much lap time. Pat O'Ward hits from the lead.
This is going to be fascinating. Colton Herta gets to the front straightaway. Will Power on slicks, trying to get temperature. Hill comes Herta, and I think Colton Herta's going to have no problem taking the lead as these guys come out on cold slick tires. Watch this.
It's going to be close. It's going to be close. His old teammate Pato O'Ward there from Indy Lights. Here he is, wheel to wheel with Power. That one's easily done. Now we can begin the chase on Pato O'Ward.
I think Colton's going to go blowing by here if O'Ward has trouble getting heat.
Well, I should say he's got that have one lap of heat in these red sidewall tires, and that's going to be a huge advantage. Pato's going to be going through this tricky 7 to 10 section. It's going to say his first time lap. He has no idea what this car is going to be like on the slick tires through here, so Cole's going to catch him quite a bit right now.
Remember how tough it was for Colton Herta through this section. He almost threw it off the road. There's Pato O'Ward.
Oh, look out! Big nice save! Sideways!
Wow.
Nice save from Colton Herta.
Wow.
He was on the lock stops there, wide for Pato O'Ward, and Colton Herta is going to go through.
That was a phenomenal save. That was a crash that didn't happen by the Gangbridge Honda driver, who started 14th and is now out in front.
And just think about the dominant performance Colton Herta has had on the road courses, only to see a couple of them get thrown away. It doesn't get any closer to throwing away a potential race win than that moment right there. Now everybody's on pit lane.
That was incredible. I mean, his heart is in his throat. There was no doubt. My heart's in my throat just watching that. When the conditions
Dixon didn't make
the
it
drivers are so on edge,
to the
so
pit, did
tense
he?
in the car, you got to stay cool and calm. And that save from Colton Herta was as cool as you could possibly do it. Let's get another look at it. This was absolutely awesome. On board here.
Oh boy.
That was Tokyo Drift. That was
Right here.
Here it comes.
Whoa.
Oh my God, that was handwork, that was footwork,
Gotta see
that
it.
was everything he could do all the way on the lock stops. There was nothing left for Colton Herta to do to keep that car pointing straight. Look at that.
Never have I seen an IndyCar slide that far sideways in the wet on slicks without something bad happening. Amazing stuff from Herta.
That's absolutely incredible. Normally, once you get that amount of angle in the car, it's going around whether you're doing everything you can or not. It's backwards. Saw that one come in, and we see Palou now. Palou's in the grass. And he's stuck. He's beached it, guys. That's going to be a yellow flag. Oh, no. Maybe he can go forward. Here we go. Keep your foot in it, son. Here we go.
I think there may be somebody else off as well, over to the left of this shot, unless it was the lockup from Alex. It was. That was just the smoke drifting across. Jimmy Johnson there in the light blue Carvana Honda tiptoeing through. There goes Tatiana.
Yeah.
Christian Lundgaard and the champ up.
They're at the Indianapolis road course, baby.
Side of Rena's VK, and there's no way through there, so he goes off. And Palou's already gone.
He's already gone, yeah. Another look here, just tries to dive it. I mean, VK has no idea he's there. He probably barely even felt that contact. On the throttle, he loses a little bit on entry, but as he gets the power, big snap. You see his hands were all the way off the wheel. He thought he was going all the way around. He's actually surprised, I think, surprised himself to save it. And on this wet grass, the car just doesn't stop. It just keeps going. It's going to come. I still think that Alexander Rossi right here is still
Only
working
one
very
with rain
good.
tires.
Erickson comes to take the green.
There it is right there.
Teammate Scott Dixon will be looking to dive up the inside and get his lap back on that wet front straight here at the Brickyard. Here
Are they going to slow down? It's going to be interesting.
Dicey stuff. Look at
3 wide.
Very aggressive. 3 wide on the wet.
and McLaughlin into the mix. He's sitting back watching. Dixon gets his lap back. They're almost 3
Past 43, so lap 46 we're on.
Of Alexander Rossi, was it?
Hard to believe everybody made it through. Now the track is quite a bit drier on the backside. Again, I just can't believe that there's appears to be sun out just a few corners later.
The track is dry, but the tires get cold when you drive through the rain on that front straight.
And poor Alex Rossi has to drive hard on those rain tires. You see him way in the back on the blue and pink car. He's going to chew up those wets.
But again, if I'm Alex, I'm okay with going a little bit slower, letting cars go past, because I think this yellow, if the yellow comes, he's still sitting pretty. You don't want those tires ruined. As Roman Grosjean down the inside, but Marcus Ericsson makes it stick, but almost contact between Will Power and one of the Meyer Shank cars.
So if they survived one lap, here they come to the wet section again.
Let's see how we go. It's very dicey turn 12 here. It's a real key spot on this road course here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Connor Daly back up in the mix. There's Pato O'Ward in the orange and black Arrow McLaren SP Chevy. Now, one more go down the front straight.
Dry line is established down the front straightaway. It's wet offline, but all good.
And this is a tough call for Colton Herta. Going offline, as you said, sometimes it's a little wetter. It's risky to try to make a move, but that's a lap car behind, or at least the last car on the lead lap in front of him there. Do you want to risk pulling offline to pass Scott Dixon right now when it's not for position?
I think you want to make high percentage decisions right now. If you're Colton Herta, your last pit stop, lap 32. So you're about halfway through the fuel stint right now. Sitting pretty.
Look at this fight going on here. Pato O'Ward, Callum Hyla,
Oh, look at this.
Harrison gets shoved out, and he loses 3 spots in one corner.
Pato O'Ward picking up some pieces there. A couple of nice moves for the 5 cars. Now Elliot Castroneves on the inside of Marcus Ericsson. Started in the lead on this restart, and he is falling back outside the top 10 pretty quick.
Right behind Alexander Rossi also is on West, so he's praying for
Jimmy
rain.
Johnson in 5th.
Got Mike Rahal, Marty.
Kevin, this is crazy. It's still raining here on the road, and on the front stretch, you see Colton Herta flashing the turn 1 there. So the front stretch is a little bit wet, but to your point, Townsend, the back stretch looks more dry. So far, Rossi going to stay on the rain tires. Very, very wild race today.
Oh, it's crazy, Marty. I can tell you from the pagoda, we are literally sitting on the seam of the weather. It's practically sunny out the back, but I don't think for long. I think that rain is going to move to the east and cover this whole racetrack shortly.
And just looking at timing and scoring, guys, it's kind of fallen. I called it, I probably cursed it. It's fallen apart for Alexander Rossi. He's 42 seconds behind Colton Herta right now. He loses about 37, 38 for a pit stop. So even if Colton did pit right now for rain, if it started raining, I don't think Alexander would cycle all the way
Oh,
off.
his rain tires are fried. Those sharp edges are now completely smoked, melted, and falling apart literally with every corner. Look at the last lap time. Colton Herta with a 12.9, Rossi with a 27.9. That is 15 seconds.
Okay, Alex, I think we got to come for drive.
That's just you can hear the absolute dejection in Ryan Barnhart's voice. They know that this gamble hasn't paid off.
Hey, well, look at this. Grosjean is working on Harvey. Marty, this battle intensifies. Romain Grosjean wants to keep his record of finishing on the podium in this event intact. He's had back-to-back podiums here.
Yeah, and he's finished back-to-back second places as well. And I think the disappointment with the Rossi team is the fact that they
It's like me 2 weeks ago in the NASCAR Busch Series. I did a gamble, didn't pay off. Went a lap down. Was able to come back and finish 31st.
That rain is still on its way.
I mean, it's just impossible to believe that just part of the racetrack is wet for the last 10 minutes.
Well, the thing is,
And Pagenaud
I
gets
saw it coming.
to go into a podium position.
what's the matter, man? Get your finger off the button, get back on the track and focus.
Was he singing or complaining? What did he say?
I imagine it wasn't a song. It's probably a complaint, but nothing you can do about
I'll
it
tell you
now.
what I've seen today is a lot of drivers are demonstrating to Romain Grosjean,
Castroneves.
race us hard, we're coming right back and going to show you how it's done. And I think Grosjean has fallen to the backside of so many guys today, they're just not leaving him any room.
And at the same time, you've got Jack Harvey, who's just hyper-motivated to get on the podium here, but big pressure coming from Will Power, the 5-time winner here. Indianapolis is going to try around the outside.
Going to get in a good position for the next, and Harvey doesn't give Power anything. And around goes Pato O'Ward.
How about this comeback from the 5-car? Pato O'Ward now up into 5th after that spin on that restart. I see some rain coming.
Oh boy, this is far from over.
How about Simon Pagenaud? Started 20th and runs 3rd. What a drive from the Frenchman.
Yeah!
I think we're either this up or next up.
This was all about just a warm-up drive.
Watch what you say when you
500.
Juan Pablo Montoya!
These guys need wets.
They do.
There he is.
Anybody that can feel the restart knew what he did.
Oh, Pablo, why you look so old, Juan? One position at a time.
Big for these guys. They just wanted to come in here.
And the disappointment is the fact that, guess what? It's finally raining harder, and the teams are going to pit in about 3 laps, and they're all talking about rain tires. Rossi made the right move, Townsend, but he made it too early.
That's right, just unlucky with the decision there. Everybody staying out, Marty. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm telling you, on the backside.
Caution is out, just as Callum Ilott made
Jimmy
the
Johnson.
move on Will Power.
And this is a big break for Colton Herta.
Dixon in 14.
He doesn't have to guess when to pit now. Caution's out, pits will be closed. And it allows Colton to pit under yellow, presumably, to take the wets and not have to gamble, not have to risk it. But there will be a race on pit lane when these cars all come to their box.
Here's Jimmy Johnson sitting stationary in the Carvana Honda. What happened? End of the back straight.
just slick track, guys. Just rain coming down on a slick tire shod car. These are the trickiest conditions you could possibly be in. You're tiptoeing around. You're trying not to make any sudden inputs with your hands, with your feet, on either the throttle or the brake.
This is part of the Jimmy Johnson IndyCar road course education, which is the curbs are super slippery when they're wet. He took a lot of curve all the way through there. If you saw the leaders go through there, they're just putting barely a little bit of tire on that paint. The paint's so much more slippery than the racetrack.
You know, as we stay on board here with Jimmy Johnson,
There you go. And you lost it right. I don't know if you noticed it. You lost it right in front of Colton Herta.
That's true.
That was pretty close. I don't know how close, but so yeah, another a lucky escape for the man in the Cambridge Honda.
So think about the pressure of being an IndyCar pit crew person. Everybody's going to pit under caution, and it's wet on pit lane. Your gloves are wet. Your teeth are wet.
no one's getting in the shower and then getting out of the shop. And,
That's a lot of rain.
They're doing their pit stop practice, but
Right there, it ain't that bad, but
the thing here, guys, is we're still on the very, very, very early side to make this thing without stopping again.
But they do get better mileage when it's wet. They're going slower. They burn less fuel, so it should help.
Carvana.
So Colton's behind.
Oh, and he slid backwards, so yeah.
Damn, good in the cream.
I think we are in the fuel window now. If it dried up and they ran hard, there'd be a lot of saving. They probably could get there. Easing into his pit stop. There's going to be a massive race off pit lane. Colton Herta made the early dive.
It's now almost 4:20. Make it happen, baby!
Kevin, this has been chaos. Pato Ward said on the radio a moment ago, it's a handful. They had rain tires laid out just like Herta. They went with slicks, so did Scott McLaughlin. There's a race off pit road.
Wow, look at the
slicks. McLaughlin on slicks. Colton Herta on slicks. This is going to be crazy.
Oh, look how close this is with McLaughlin as he edges out ahead of Colton Herta.
You beat me out there, but take a look.
Herta asking, can you double check if he legitimately beat me out?
Really, it's all down to the timing line. The transponder will tell the truth there.
That position is okay.
I'm not sure why they're letting him stay in second place. He was down in 5th or 6th at that point. Why would you be allowed to pass half the cars, but not all of them? That doesn't necessarily track, but this is really playing into their hands, like you said, Tom. Yeah, once it started to go, they didn't have enough grip to catch it. You know, there's just so little grip. So yeah, now we see the 3 car falling back a couple more spots. So
And he doesn't need to worry about that too much if he can just...
Right, because we're right near the end of this race. Let's get going. And what's Colton Herta got in third? The third car, the black and yellow machine. What's this restart going to look like for the leader of the race? Getting squirrely and sideways already.
barely getting the power down. His Pato Award coming 13. Green flag is out. That means you can pass as soon as the green flag is waving. You do not have to wait for the start-finish line. Colton Herta is not waiting at all. Right on the gearbox of Pato Award on the inside into turn 1.
No way that Award's going to be able to hold off Herta.
Wets versus slicks.
Man, he did a better job than I thought.
Better job than I thought. That thing was amazing on slicks in the wet.
Incredibly impressive car control.
Almost lost the gun on the paint. Award did.
Behind him, everybody's being pretty well behaved as
Well,
well.
GT racing now, it's a time race.
Jimmy Johnson holding up Simon Pagenaud. Now we'll power up the inside. We got a car around Scott McLaughlin.
McLaughlin off. Dixon off.
Did he keep it running? Caution is out, guys. 13 minutes and counting. Colton Herta still in the lead. Pato Award still holding on to second on those slicks.
I cannot believe how late Pato Award was able to break into turn
Goes
1.
around, comes around.
McLaughlin shaking his head. Needs a hand. Needs to get refired here. Boost. Look at the spray that Pagenaud ducks out of. You can hardly see any of the cars on the front stretch here. Then it's willpower. Oh, look out.
Hunter Daly and Montoya slow. Almost got rear-ended by Montoya. Montoya is P5.
And after having to change the whole rear assembly of the car, Marcus Ericsson in that white and red Husky Chocolates car has gone past Montoya. The Swedish driver is on the move, so he's going to come from the back of the field into the top 5, maybe even into the top 4.
Connor Daly back back up into fourth place where he qualified. This guy, again, another driver with a roller coaster of a day.
Lower left-hand corner, you saw Grosjean and O'Ward pitted. Smart decision. No way they could have made a lap. Look at this action. Callum Island up the inside of Castro Neves.
Oh, great job getting that one up. He saw where it was going, but he was able. Oh, no,
Sato into the side of Castro Neves. They continue. Sato's going to go again.
Well, you know what? Smart move from Castro Neves to pull out of that. That was going to end in contact and probably a spin for one of those two guys.
Sato has been to the front and the back, to the front and the back. The Mission Foods on board, which you can hardly see anything of Felix Rosenquist. He's on the inside of Isla, now the inside of Castro Neves. Rosenquist making some great moves.
Sato and Montoya get together. Sato off in the grass. There goes Rosenquist back by.
A couple of old F1 guys tangling there. Isla now on the inside of Sato.
And Connor Daly in fourth there. Every lap in turn with that bobble.
The leader, he lost 3 seconds. He went off the track. Apparently, the leader. Let's see right here.
Two more racing laps.
Oh, man.
Got away with it.
You got to be the best. It's gonna be good right here. You got to change the world. Chance to be heard. Your time is mine.
No visibility. This is a suck.
This is the biggest test in the whip for the aero screen that was implemented a couple of years ago, and the visibility has seemingly been Montoya. Montoya is out of the race.
Montoya, Juan Pablo Montoya.
This is going to bring out a caution and end this race. That is it. Colton Herta
Turn 14 for Montoya.
turn 12. I don't know if
Did he finish 7? Where did he finish that? He crossed the line though, didn't he?
Someone caught a snap, went up on the wall, but caution is out, a minute and a half to go.
That is the first look of calm and assuredness in fourth. Lots of contact.
Juan Pablo Montoya.
Lots of wheel dropping. Left rear's torn up. Left front is torn up.
At least they didn't hit no jet dryer this time. Like 2012 Daytona 500 qualifying.
I think he made contact.
Jeff Gordon's old friend.
Yeah, I think he just lost it. Through that
Jeff
lost
Gordon's
it.
amigo, if you will.
And collected the wall. Heavy damage.
What a shame. He was having such a brilliant run to be well and truly inside the top 10.
He looks a lot bigger than the last time I saw
To
him.
be displayed to Colton Herta, and appropriately so. He has led
And getting on down the road.
Even Alexander Rossi, after all of that up and down, thought maybe he was going to cycle to the front, had to pay, went a lap down, defaulted that off. When one car went around in front of him, still going to call off.
Colton Herta's going to win.
But could have been a lot worse.
And guys, Mr. Temperament, Mr. Keeping My Emotions in Check, Will Power, will now go third, fourth, third to lead this championship for the first time in 2022, heading into the double points paying Indianapolis 500.
It is a renaissance Will Power. He is a reinvented racing driver in this
Will Power.
The temperament difference with Power is spectacular, and he's been content with getting a solid finish, keeping it on the right.
It's still pouring.
And now he finds himself with a 16-point lead.
Still pouring. At least we know who won. Really bad weather there.
This is my most fun win ever. So bring it home, buddy.
Bring it home. The 22-year-old Californian, Colton Herta, wins the GMR Grand Prix to the delight of the Andretti Autosport crew.
Great job from the Gamebridge guys. They really needed this result. We talked about momentum going into May. Great way to do it. A Honda getting into victory lane for the first time this season, breaking the Chevy streak. A lot to be happy for, a lot to be celebrated here for these guys.
Tense moments, big decisions, high risk, and excellent
Colton Herta.
execution. Colton Herta, one of the young faces of
I'm Randall.
IndyCar,
Love y'all.
is the winner.
We'll see you the next one for the Indianapolis 500. Woo!